So they'll be shipping out to customers, the warehouse tells me starting August 7th, so they're imminent on their way here. I'll start here with Brass Empire. This is the first game I ever designed. It's the first game Rock Manor Games ever released. If you haven't heard of it, I don't blame you. Only printed a couple thousand copies of it. But it was always well received, and we have the chance now for a lot of new people to discover it, I think. So it's a deck building game, takes place in a steampunk fantasy world where every player plays a corporate faction in a cutthroat world where each company is trying to profit the most. The game's been out of print for 3 or 4 years, but it had some innovations at its time. Some of it still hasn't been done. One of the things you do is you actually choose a corporate faction to represent. So it's not your typical deck building game. You actually have your own color. We call these reserve cards. You can buy any card from the center market, but you choose a color to represent, and you have access to very cheap cards that will lean into that strategy and give you the ability to build that type of engine much faster than any other player. So if you played other deck builders before, some of the standard cards you're used to seeing are trashing cards and milling your deck and drawing more cards. You're going to want to play the green or purple deck. And if you choose that faction, you'll be able to do that strategy much heavier than any other player. We also have the blue faction is all about controlling the board and setting traps and dealing damage and sabotaging people's engines. The orange faction is about getting points very quickly. And then we also have the red faction, which leans heavily on construction and is about building some janky contraptions early and then sort of upgrading to more advanced tableau building later. So different paths to victory as well. One of the other innovations is there's 2 center rows, and there's no always available to buy cards. There's a lot more unique cards that you're always choosing from. We have the standard deck row, which is the labor market. Those are your employees. They toil away at your factory every turn, generating resources. They go in your discard pile at the end of your turn. Sort of your standard deck building fare. You guys are probably used to it. The design department's a little more unique. It represents researching blueprints and technologies and things that you can build, and it's your tableau building. So you can build buildings that are played face down to represent they're under construction, then flipped up at the start of your turn. They give you resources every turn or other types of effects. They help engine build. Then you also have units which defend, mine for victory points, and sabotage your opponents. So unlike other deck building games, this game is a lot more interactive with players. If I'm building up a big army of units to mine all the points very quickly, you should probably stop trying to cull your deck and draw cards and start worrying about slowing my engine down. Or the game's going to be over before your deck building even started. The game doesn't have a set number of rounds, but everyone gets equal turns once the pool of brass that's available to be mined is emptied.